But really, it's not so much about the word, but the thing itself, which incidentally is what Ernest Holmes called it in The Science of Mind. But anyway, we come here to celebrate that, to celebrate the love that we truly are, the love that each and every one of us is, the love that is flowing in, through, and as everyone and everything that is, was, and ever will be. Always. So that means that we are all of this love, all of this energy, all of this potentiality, all the time. Not just sometimes, not just when we feel like it, not on special occasions, but every moment of every day. And what is up to us is to consciously decide, to choose intentionally how we want to express as that love every moment of every day. So how does that sound to everyone on this bright Sunday morning?
Wonderful.
Woo!
And that's the way it is.
And that's the way it is. With a thumbs up from Inez. Right on. All right, so let us also remember where we are celebrating. That we are celebrating on the unceded lands of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples, the Songhees and the Esquimalt nations. And that we are here to live and breathe and play and work and co-create along with these amazing peoples who have stewarded these lands for so long. And when I checked online to find some more information about these nations, what I found was something on the Songhees website. We have been here since time immemorial, and we will continue to thrive. That is such a phenomenal declaration. That is such a great affirmation that we can all take to heart, right? Individually, collectively, for our world. And as we do, what we are doing is not only are we celebrating the love that we truly are, we are activating the love that we truly are for ourselves, for each other, and our world. All right, so we're going to move into our meditative song that debuted last week. And what I'm going to do this time, because it is still a new song, and we do have some people in our community today, I'm going to sing the first verse. Those are going to be in the lyrics in blue, and then I'm going to ask you to come in when the lyrics go to red. So I'll sing the first verse just so that you can really hear the melody, because we had so many people here last week. It was incredible hearing all these voices, but there were probably 5 different melodies going on. And so I'm gonna sing it so that you can hear the melody, and then I invite you to come in and let's see if we can sing it as one voice. So if you feel like you want to harmonize, I invite you to just sort of put that aside and let's sing together as one. And then once we get to the last, the next verse, you can start to harmonize if that's what it, feels called in your heart. Okay? So in the grace of this space. In every breath, every pulse, there is love. With every thought, every word, there is love. When I open up my heart, I can feel my soul revealed in the grace of this space that is love. All right, join me feeling. When I trust and I know I am strong, with pure faith I lean into the song that inspires and reflects harmony and sacred texts in the wisdom of my heart all along. Let's repeat that. That inspires and reflects harmony and sacred texts in the wisdom of my heart all along. It's beautiful. Every moment, every hour, I choose peace. Every day, every way, I choose peace. As I let go of the old and surrender to the new, I leave behind what clouds my mind from seeing the truth. As I let go of the old and surrender to the new, I leave behind what clouds my mind from seeing the truth. In every breath, every pulse, I am loved. With every thought, every word, I am loved. As I yield to my heart, I can feel my soul revealed in the grace of this space. I am loved. As I yield to my heart, I can feel my soul revealed in the grace of this space. I am loved. In the grace of this space, I am loved. In the grace of this space, I am loved. And just allowing ourselves to pause in that grace, in that space. Allowing ourselves to be opened up to that essential love that is always in flow, that is always making its way in, through, and as everyone and everything. And as I feel that love in every single fiber of my being, I know that our time together today is founded and grounded in that love. That each and every individual, every word, every conversation, every turn of phrase, every note, every chord, all of it is love expressing. And so as we move into the rest of our time together today, I'm so grateful to know that there is that in each and every individual here that is already opening up to whatever it is that is theirs to receive, however it is that is theirs to be opened up by this one divine universal flow, this essential love that is the only thing going on. So in gratitude, in reverence, and in celebration, I release my word as law, knowing all of this to be true, and so it is. So just taking a moment to transition from our opening prayer to our theme for the month. And the theme this month is commitment. And so we have an affirmation to go with commitment, which is, I commit to creating life intentionally and living life purposefully every moment of every day. And so just to get the energy flowing again, I'm going to ask everyone to stand up. And I'm going to ask you to really take that affirmation to heart and allow the words to land wherever they may. And we're going to stand with our feet firmly on the ground, chest open, kind of like a superhero. And we're going to declare this affirmation together. Here we go. I commit to creating life intentionally and living life purposefully every moment of every day. Beautiful. Thank you. You can go ahead and sit down. All right, so we have a few moments right now to share what is commitment looking like? What's it feeling like for everyone in the community? What's it feeling like right now in this moment? Whether the affirmation is sparking something or there's something from last week that you would like to share. Glenn has the mic ready. Who would like to share something first? Okay.
Hi, this word commitment, for me it's been sparking a lot of setting goals and setting boundaries and living my life according to my values.
Thank you. Values, important. Values. Shared values in this community, but there will be different values too. And values that we hold dear right now may not be values that are important to us down the road or values that we held dear before. So being clear on what your values are, great way to start and great foundation for your commitment. Thank you, Roque. Who else has something to share? Commitment. Gail Museum, front row or second row today.
I'm committed to living my life in integrity.
Great word, integrity. Thank you. Before you turn the mic, what does integrity mean to you?
Being authentic, being kind, living out of my spirit of who I really am as an individualization of the infinite spirit. Has to do with intentionality too, etc., etc.
I could go on. Don't stop me. So authentic, kind, living as spirit.
Yes.
The big ones. Okay, thank you.
Living consciously as spirit.
Living consciously and intentionally as spirit. Yes, thank you. Very important. All right, time for one more share. And
Is it on?
it's on.
Okay. I think the purposefully spoke to me because I feel like in everyday life you can kind of get lost in the monotony of things, and so oh God.
Whoa.
That's what that was me. Sorry. I think it's important to wake up in those monotonous parts and just being present and available to yourself, because it's every moment of every day that you're alive, and you need to be there for all of it.
Being available and present to yourself every day. I am loving that. Thank you. All right, enough with the popping. Okay, so thank you, everyone. It's always so wonderful to hear what's going on for people, how things are feeling, and I invite it sort of, on the back burner or the front burner and opening up to what this affirmation means for you. I commit to creating life intentionally and living life purposefully every moment of every day. All right, so moving right along, we are now moving to our musical solo with Bob Goodwin. Bob, do you want to let people know what you chose and why you chose it?
One of our main themes, so to speak, is love. So, where is love?
Where is love? Any Ted Lasso fans here? It's here, it's there, it's every love and where it's love, it's love. But it's kind of different.
That's not the real word.
My husband's laughing, that's nice. Okay, so moving right along. Thank you, Bob. You're welcome to come and join us here. So one of my summer rituals for the past several years has been to listen and or read the book The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Anyone here familiar with that book? Oh, it is such a beautiful book, and every summer when I just go back into it, I'm like, oh. And the audiobook, best audiobook ever. If you are an audiobook listener, Jeremy Irons narrates this book. The voices that he does, the way he tells the story, I don't really remember being told bedtime stories when I was a kid, but I'm like, tell me a story, Jeremy Irons. It's just so fantastic, and there's just these other layers to the story that come out when I listen to him narrate versus just reading the book. But anyway, so I listened to it last week, and then I started listening to it again almost immediately because I'm like, There is some really amazing stuff in here about personal legend. This is the big thing that is what the book is about. It's about finding and discovering and committing to finding and realizing your personal legend. And so for those who don't know the story, it is about a young boy from Spain, I forget how old he is, 19, 18, something like that, who is a shepherd. And he's perfectly happy being a shepherd, just shepherding his sheep that, hang out with him and just count on him to find food and water. Because he's a shepherd, he's traveled all over Spain and the area that he's in, Andalusia, and he absolutely loves and is totally content with his life. And then one day he has a dream, and then he has this dream again. And in the dream, which he doesn't quite understand, he is told about a treasure that he needs to go looking for. But before the little child in the dream can tell him where the treasure is, he wakes up. So he goes to find some help through a medium or a sorceress or something like that. And she ends up telling him that because of the symbolism of the dream, he's got to take it seriously because it was told in the language of the soul of the world. And so it's something that she's familiar with, but can't interpret, so he's got to figure it out for himself. Are you starting to see where I'm going with this? Okay? And so at the beginning, he's kind of like, well, I'm really happy with my life the way it is. I have everything that I want. I have my sheep, I get to travel, I know every square inch of where I've been. I'm comfortable knowing what my life is about. And yet, this dream nags at him, it gnaws at him. And then these signs, they're called omens in the book, start to come about and really sort of impel him into action, into moving out of his comfort zone and going to Egypt, to the pyramids, to find his treasure where his personal legend is guiding him. And along the way, all sorts of adventures. He gets to grow, he gets to be challenged, he gets to really, really move out of the comfort zone that he's been living in for so long, and starts to realize that there are so many different aspects to life that he wasn't even aware of. And so the book is all about discovering who and what you truly are. Even if life is good, if things are okay and you're perfectly content, there is always more. Which, for those who don't know or don't remember, our theme for 2024, right? There is always more in 2024. So there's always more to discover, always more to lean into, always more to embrace, to embody, always more to become. And then along the way, if we lean into that sort of journey, that spiritual evolution, that growth, there will be times that will be very challenging and trying, and we're going to sort of start to feel like, oh, maybe I should just stop. And then there's still this thing inside of us that is like, keep going, right? And so if we commit, theme for the month, if we commit to keep going, then that's when the universe supports us, right? And there's this quote in the book, when you want something, the whole universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. Okay? But it's not good enough just to want it, okay? You need to commit to it. Because wanting is like wishing and hoping, or baccarat, kind of dreaming, and not really achieving anything. You need to actually play your part. You need to step into action, and you need to keep taking whatever tiny baby steps you need to take intentionally and purposefully. Let's throw in authentic in there as well, because if you're taking steps that aren't in alignment with who and what you truly are, then you're going to be missing the mark, and you're not going to find your treasure, or you're not going to realize your personal legend. So this is about trusting your intuition, about listening and paying attention when little tiny glimmers or when big, hits upside the head happen, and just paying attention to that, knowing that this is something that is helping me to move forward in my life, to help me discovering who and what I truly am, to expressing more fully as that boundless, limitless, eternal love, that divine energetic flow, the infinite potentiality of the quantum field, all of those infinite possibilities. That's what it's all about. And the more we lean into the faith that we have, the more that we trust that whatever we require is going to show up at the exact right time, then the more that stuff starts to show up. And the closer and closer we get to finally realizing what it is that is ours to realize. And so that's what this book is about, and it is such a beautiful story. And every time I read it, every time I listen to it, there is something else that comes out of there, along with, ooh, here comes this part, which is such a great quote, or such a great story, or such a great, scene kind of thing. Now, switching to Raymond Charles Barker, who, this isn't the same quote that I used in meditation, but it's the same guy. There's this great book. It's actually the very first book I read, The Power of Decision by Raymond Charles Barker. It's the very first book I read after we started attending the Center for Spiritual Living in Toronto over 8 years ago. I asked back then Reverend Jonathan Zenz, is there a book that I could read that would help me to understand some of the stuff that you guys are talking about? He's like, this one. And it is so good. I mean, it's from so long ago, but it is so good because it really talks about basically personal responsibility, which is kind of the third thing that we talk about in New Thought. Number one, there's only one thing going on. Call it whatever you want. That's it. Two, everyone and everything is that. Not a little of it, not sometimes, all of it, all the time. Three, we create our reality, and we create our reality according to how aware we are of who we are, right? And then we also create our reality based on what it is that we believe about who we are. Because if we walk around saying, I am consciousness, I am the infinite potentiality of the quantum field, I am God, but underneath we're thinking, I'm not deserving, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm a piece of garbage, I don't know how, I'm alone. Well, guess what our life experience is going to be like? Not this. It's going to be what these beliefs are. They're going to outpicture. But we get to use this, the conscious mind, to change what it is that we're focusing on or what we're immersed in our subconscious mind. And that's our work to do, is to bring these two aspects of mind, only one mind, bring these two aspects of mind together into alignment. And when they're in alignment, then that's when we start to experience the life that we are consciously thinking about, because our beliefs are congruent without those conscious beliefs and thoughts. And so nothing has ever happened to you or taken place around you that was not the result of your subconscious mind. Nothing. So we need to get crystal clear about what it is that is happening in our subconscious. And again, if we're not sure, then all you need to do is look at your life. Look at what's happening. Look at the experiences you're having. Look at the people that you're attracting. Look at the opportunities that you're attracting into your life. Because all of that is a reflection out here of what is happening in here. Now, I talked last week about this show on Apple TV, Dark Matter. Did you give it another go, Gail? Nope. All right. There were several people who watched the talk, and they now are watching it. And so there are a few people that I have a chance to talk to about this. But we watched another episode, and we really aren't any further along in seeing Jason, the main character, and his cohort, Amanda, from the world that they came out of, find the world that they want to get back to yet. And they are continuing to go through all of these doors, all of these alternate realities that are so close but off. Just a little bit, right? And they're trying to figure out, what are we not doing right? What are we not doing right? And so even though we don't know what it is yet, I was talking to Glenn when we were watching the latest episode, and I got this sense. Is anyone here a Grey's Anatomy fan or watch Grey's Anatomy? It's been a long time since I watched it, but there was an episode years ago where there was a guy, I can't remember, he could have been a paraplegic, he was in a wheelchair, and he was hooked up to some kind of equipment that would get his thought impulses going to his hand, which wasn't able to move. And the doctors and the nurses were like, move your hand, think about moving your hand, just think about moving your hand and it'll move. And he was getting so frustrated because the hand wasn't moving. And then one of the doctors, McDreamy, tells him, reach for your wife. And as soon as he tried reaching for his wife, guess what? He moved his hand. And so in this show, I'm wondering, he's thinking so hard, he's writing down all the details of what the life is supposed to look like, his family, his friends, his work, whatever, but he's constantly moving into a different reality that isn't the one that he wants to go back to. I have to wonder, does it have more to do with his heart and the way he's feeling about stuff, which they did sort of touch on in the second and third episode, than it does with his thinking mind. You know, because thoughts really are ideas. And thoughts, at least according to David Hawkins, they don't really have any meaning unto themselves. It's the feeling that they're associated with. And the feeling is the thing that we want to get to. And when we get to the feeling, then there are all these thoughts that are associated with the feeling. And if it's a good, positive, life-affirming feeling, hurrah! If it's a negative, constricting, destructive feeling, not so good. We want to get rid of the feeling, because with that feeling come all these thousands of thoughts about how horrible life is. So this brings me to a class that I'm in right now. It is with Neil Douglas Klotz, who is the author of The Teachings of the Aramaic Jesus. He has a whole bunch of other books. And one of the cool things that he offered at the very beginning of the class, the first class, was that the one thing that's going on is one universal breath. That there's just breath. That's it. And as this one universal breath is breathing in and out, every now and then it pauses, and in that pause is us. We are held, our lifetime is held in that pause breath, and when that universal breath lets go, that's when we expire, and that's when that breath goes back into the universal breath and continues to flow. And another thing in the Aramaic teachings is there's no word for mind, but there is the word for heart. And so when they're talking about this one universal breath moving in, through, and as everyone and everything, they call it soul. They're talking about what is flowing and what is affirming and what is activating the heart. And the heart is what's associated with feelings, right? And so if we take some time to really consider what it is we're thinking, are we thinking those thoughts independently, on their own? Are we just plucking them out of thin air? Or are they springing from the feelings that we are immersed in, that are based on the beliefs that we're holding on to in the sea of, subconscious and subjectivity? It's something to consider. Now, if you go quantum, which is a yes and world, then it's probably both. And so it's really important for us to be intentional, not only with what we're thinking, but with what we're feeling, and then to see, hey, does what's going on, does this feel big and expansive and warm and lovely in our hearts? Or is it something that feels constricting, making it hard to breathe and have energy and move forward in life? Ultimately, we're the ones who are choosing. We're the ones who are deciding every moment of every day, right? And this is what Raymond Charles Barker says. This is the quote from Meditation. You are the deciding factor in your consciousness. Therefore, your entire world of experience, all of it. So we are the ones who are choosing. There's no one inside of us. There's no entity. There's no they, even though it might appear like that. It might feel like that sometimes. But when we do feel like that, then guess what? We have the opportunity to either get caught up in the drama and the trauma and the negativity, or we get to move forward in spite of that, use that negativity as information, even inspiration, to turn within, to show up as spirit, to show up authentically with kindness, as was offered before. Be available and present to ourselves right here, right now, in this moment, because when we are, we can't hate someone and love them at the same time. We can't be anxious and overwhelmed, but be present to what is at the same time. We're either in and as love, or we're feeling something different. But even when we are, we're still that love, right? It's never lost. We've never let it go. We've just kind of forgotten or gotten distracted for a while. And ultimately, it's up to us to bring ourselves back to the present moment, to be available for ourselves, to really, really focus on who and what we are, that essential authenticity that we are. And so in The Alchemist, there is a section closer to the beginning of the book when Santiago, the boy, is talking to the king of Salem. And he says, the king says, whoever you are, or whatever it is that you do, when you really want something, it's because that desire originated in the soul of the universe. It's your mission on earth. So it's not an idea that just kind of came out of the blue, out of nowhere. It's not even really an original thought. It is something that already exists as potentiality in the quantum field, as an idea in the mind of God. It's something that already exists, otherwise we wouldn't tune into it. And so when we do tune into it, then that's our opportunity to tune in as spirit, as God, as love, as that infinite creativity that is always in flow, that boundless, limitless imagination that is always available to us because it's who and what we are. That's what we get to choose. Now, on Wednesday, we were talking about some of this, and during our share, there was an offering, a share that was made about discipline. And I remember saying something, and I wasn't quite right about what I said about Gary Keller and the one thing, but I looked up discipline and commitment to see what the two definitions are, because what I offered was that discipline to me is something that is harder and sort of more, I don't even know exactly what I said, but it was not a positive thing for me. It wasn't an affirming thing for me. And in the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller, he says, we have discipline up the wazoo. We do not need more discipline. What we need to do, what's important for us to do, is to direct our energy and attention. So that means to become more focused, to become more intentional with what it is that we're doing, with our time, our energy, our money, our relationships, every single aspect of our life. To be perfect, to be so intentional that we are present to ourselves and available to ourselves every moment of every day. Now, commitment, actually the definition of discipline, which was kind of the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. That's not going to be the only one, but that's the first one that came up, and I'm like, yeah, I want more of that. So I thought about commitment. I thought about, what it is that Santiago is doing in The Alchemist with his personal legend. I thought about what Jason Dessen is doing in Dark Matter, trying to find his way back to his world. And I thought about what each and every one of us get to do every single day as we move through life, from moment to moment to moment to moment. How are we showing up? What is it that we are focusing on? Are we aware of the thoughts that we're thinking, the beliefs that we're believing, and the feelings, and how they all correlate with each other? We are not static beings. We are constantly evolving. We are constantly changing. Every single moment, the universe is rebooting itself anew. And because we are part and parcel of that universe, so are we. So even though it may feel like time is trudging on in a linear fashion and one moment actually leads to the next, it really doesn't. Every moment is brand spanking new, and every moment we have an opportunity to shift the trajectory of our lives based on what it is we're thinking, what it is we believe, and what it is that we're feeling. We just need to be crystal clear on what that stuff is, and then be very intentional as we direct those thoughts, direct those beliefs, and direct those feelings. So commitment is the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause, activity, etc. So this month at VTC, not just this month, but this month with commitment being our theme, this is a month of dedication for us. This is a month for us to really, really focus on what it is that we are buying with the attention that we are paying. Are we spending more time focusing on the drama, the anxiety, the overwhelm, what's wrong with life? Or are we turning within? Are we anchoring ourselves in who and what we truly are? And are we showing up authentically, intentionally, purposefully, as the infinite power, presence, and profundity that we are? Ultimately, the choice is ours. So my question is, same as the title of my talk, look at that word again. What are you committing to? This month, today, this moment, what are you committing to? And are you doing so with your mind, or are you doing so with your heart? It's got to be both. And are you tuning into that desire? Whether you call it your personal legend, you call it your vision, your dream, your passion, whatever. Tuning into the desire that originated in the soul of the universe. Every moment is a brand spanking new opportunity to heal, to grow, to connect, to choose. And the choice, as always, is yours. Thank you, and so it is. All right, so it is now time for some conscious conversation. This is what's going to happen for the next 10 minutes or so to those who are joining us online, so just hang tight for about 10 minutes. I'm going to suggest that each side of the room break up into smaller groups, about 4 people each, so that everybody has a chance to share. And just move your chairs around. The people who've been here before will guide and support you in this process. And you're just talking about what is coming up for you in this moment regarding commitment, the talk, whatever it is, but it's not about whoever. All right? And I will begin the meditation when we come back. Thank you. All right, come on back, everyone. Such rich discussion. Okay, so now is the time in our time together where I say thank you for your investment and your your spiritual center. I'm not asking for your money, just saying thank you for your investment. But seriously, our spiritual center is not just this building, it's not just the programs that we're offering, even though your love offerings do go towards that. Your spiritual center is right here. It is the essence of who and what you are. It is at the epicenter of your soul. And so when you offer something of yourself, you are investing in yourself, in your growth, in your expansion, in your evolution, while also investing in this community that we're building together. So if you would like, there are tithing envelopes on the back table over there by the silver bowl. Just fill it out and then put the envelope in the bowl. You can also donate via e-transfer, info@victoriatruthcenter.org. Center is RE. And Gloria, credit cards? Fill up, yep, okay. Is the machine here? The machine is here, so if you have a credit card, you can insert or tap and donate that way as well. Okay? Yay! Oh my god, that's so exciting. That's for like 8 months in the making. Thank you, Gloria, and the entire board for making that happen. That was so amazing. Alright, so however you are choosing to offer of yourself, I invite you to place your hand on your heart and let's declare this abundance affirmation together. In gratitude I give, in gratitude I receive. By joyously contributing to my spiritual center, I celebrate the infinite possibilities of living life lovingly, and so it is. And so now I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze just for a moment. Feel free to place your hand on your heart. And let's just open up to all of this gratitude and appreciation that is just oozing out of our pores, that is moving and grooving its way in through and as every single aspect of this room, of this community. And so being thankful for everything that has happened today, for everything that is yet to come. So thankful for every single member of the VTC board, for my co-lead Sherry, for every volunteer, for every member of our community who shows up, who steps up and is on their way. It is such a pleasure, such a privilege to be of service and to be in community with all of these open minds, loving hearts as we build community together, as we live life lovingly together. Thank you, and so it is. All right, quite a passel of announcements. If you haven't already, we invite you to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. There are posters that are on the wall and on the door. If you would like to just scan with the QR code or your phone, you can do that. Like, subscribe, engage. This is another way that we're building community together. Elevate, happening on Wednesday, 7 to 8:30 p.m. right here, every single Wednesday. We have a live jazz trio. It's a phenomenal evening, just full of joy and expansion. Next Saturday, or actually this coming Saturday, end of this week, is the very first 9D transformational breathwork journey that is happening right here, 9 to 11 a.m. There are 8 spots left, and so if you would like to have an experience where you could potentially go into an altered, non-ordinary state of consciousness, where you can heal and release trapped trauma in your body, in your psyche, then this is the experience for you. It is 2 hours, about an hour of which is activational breath work, and then there is some post-journey integration time, and then there is an opportunity to share. Is there a question here?
I wanted to say something about that.
Oh, my daughter would like to offer something about that. Okay, I'm gonna give her a mic. And just as she's waiting for the mic, people who have, with me anyway, there are tens of thousands of people around the world who are doing this now. I have had someone who had asthma say that after the journey they felt like their lungs, their capacity was expanded by at least 20%. But in a more interesting way, we've had people go in utero and experience healing with their birth mother that has healed their relationship since then. We have had people go back 7 generations and heal generational trauma for an entire lineage of women in that family. And for me, I have had cool stuff happen, like do an abundance journey and then want to sign up for a program or a course that I'm super excited about, not knowing where the funds are going to come from, and then boom, the next day someone goes, hey, is there something that I can support you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, and there's the support that I require to do what I need to do. That's skimming the surface, but it's an incredible way to release stuff that is trapped in the body. And it just feels so great at the end. All right, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that I had the opportunity to do it last year in Guatemala by one of the reverends, doctors,
Ministers, yeah.
in the
Global Trade Center.
Global Trade Center, Los Angeles, and it actually was like such an incredibly powerful and healing experience. And I've done like meditation, therapy, like a variety of things, and this like by far was the most like powerful, like transformative experience I've like ever experienced. It's very cool.
Not a paid advertisement. Didn't know that she was going to say that. And for those of you who don't know, this is our kid, like Milana, visiting from Toronto. The one who's in many stories sometimes. Okay, Mariana, next question.
What does 9D mean?
So 9D, there are 9 dimensions or 9 layers to this process. So the somatic breath work is the main thing. Even if you didn't have all the other bells and whistles and you just did the intentional activational breathing, you would have a transformational experience. But along with that, there are solfeggio tones, there are binaural beats, it's all tuned to 430. You're all with headphones, yeah, so you can see sort of in the picture she's got headphones on. So everybody is taking the same journey, but you're having your own individual experience. And then I am there to support anyone who wants somatic support and emotional support. And so more layers, there's hypnosis in there. And honestly, for those people who are science and mind people, Brian Kelly, who's the founder of this, is getting better and better and better with his languaging. And I swear to you, the later ones are like one long spiritual mind treatment set to binaural beats, solfeggio tones, isochronic tones, tuned to 432 hertz. It's just phenomenal. So 8 spots left, happening here. If you're interested, please let me know. Healing Circle happening next Sunday, about 15 minutes after our time together here. Open to anyone who wants to come. All right, 4th week this month. Music and Mantras on Monday with Coralina Shante. Came last month. It was such an amazing time, you guys, to hear the chanting and the singing and all the voices in this space. Beautiful. Elevate Your Creativity is an art workshop this time. The artistry of self-care, self-expression through acrylics on canvas, facilitated by Sula, who normally comes on Sunday, but she's away this weekend. Radiate, don't know the details yet, but Radiate is happening that week as well, June 28th, 7 to 8:30 p.m. here. How may I serve? I was on the phone yesterday, phoning people, going down the list of members, seeing is there anyone available who might be a greeter today? And everyone that I got in contact with, even though I didn't necessarily talk to them, said yes. So there's a sign-up sheet on the back table there with specific dates for Sunday greetings specifically. I invite whoever feels called to serve and build community in this way to sign up for 1 or 2 or more of those shifts. It involves just standing at the door and welcoming people and saying, thank you for being here, and if you're not joining meditation, would you please kindly meet downstairs, okay? What can we know for you? If you or someone you know is in need of prayer, there is a little prayer box on the table there. There are some forms. Fill it out, fold it up, put it in there, and our BTC prayer team will pray affirmatively for you and yours. And then if you're not already on the newsletter, then please sign up for the newsletter. There's a clipboard there, and you will be in the flow of the know for what's happening at BTC. And in the community, big information. Sunday, July 28th, there will be no Celebrate because we are going as a community to this event the Unity Vancouver Island is putting on at First Met United downtown with Daniel Nemod, who is a brilliant, prolific, award-winning New Thought musician and fantastic speaker. So we have decided as a community, we're going to go and we are going to engage with Unity Vancouver Island and whoever else it is that shows up, and we get to hear this guy's brilliant insight, wisdom, and some of his music. And if you're interested in hearing more music, there's an actual concert happening the night before on Saturday, July 27th, again at First Net. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. I'm trying to see if I can get some from Unity so that we can actually have some here in person that we can buy. Okay, but July 28th, Sunday, no Celebrate Sunday here. I'll mention that maybe more times. All right, so now I invite you to stand up, and we're going to sing our closing song, One Great Power. This is where you get to your, I'm hoping my daughter likes this, get your Shania Twain on, because this is a country feel to it, okay? So pretend you're wearing a cowboy hat, pretend that you're at a country bar, singing about spirit, and we love you, we appreciate you, we're so glad you're here. We'll see you again next week. Bye.